Trump's new executive order ends paper checks by September, and many critics are wondering, is this the beginning of the end of cash as we know it in the American society? Today we're going to discuss why. My name is Ambassador Tim Ford Jr. of the African Union AUCS, and I've been living over in East Africa, Tanzania for almost 5 years now, and I help my people invest, rebuild, and return over to the continent of Africa. But today we're going to discuss this new executive order that Trump signed that basically outlawed paper checks from the federal government and issuing in the beginning of digital currencies in America. So, on March 25th, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order to modernize how the government handles money, switching from old-fashioned paper-based payments to fast, secure electronic payments. All executive departments and agencies must transition to modern electronic funds transfer, EFT methods like direct deposit, debit/credit card payments, digital wallets, and real-time transfers. Payments made to the federal government such as fees, fines, loans, and taxes must also be processed electronically where permissibly under existing law. Treasury will phase out physical lockbox services and expedite electronic collection of federal receipts. The order mandates that effective September 30th, 2025, the federal government will cease issuing paper checks for all disbursements, including intragovernmental payments, benefits, vendor payments, and tax refunds. A comprehensive public awareness campaign will be launched to inform federal payment recipients of the shift to electronic options and offer guidance on setting up digital payments. Now, they're not going to just throw our people to the wolves and throw people to the wolves and not give them the knowledge and the understanding that they need in order to be in a good position when this time comes. But the thing is, you do not want to just sit and rely on the education from the government and only do what they want you to do and use that knowledge for what their system is telling you to do it with. You have to understand the system and understand what you're going to be using before you get the education from the government. Now is a great opportunity and great time for you to be able to learn it without having their input and without them putting certain parameters and certain things in place where you won't get the fullness of what you're learning, because what they will be teaching you will not be in its fullness. It will not be at the most efficient level for you to learn what you can do fully with the tool that you have access to, I want to say. So you got to make sure that you learn this on your own and do not wait for the government to teach you what you need to do in order to receive your benefits and receive your payments. I know there's a lot of people that unfortunately receive benefits from the government. So this is a way that they're going to slowly but surely roll it out in other areas and other aspects. So get your knowledge up about it now. Because even in the Biden administration, they laid the foundation in order to begin digital currency. So you guys have to understand that the time is coming. People aren't just talking about crypto and Bitcoin, and it's not going to be what we will be using to do transactions in the future. So start learning about that stuff now before it's too late. And it's almost too late because now they're signing executive orders. So you have to get on the ball now if you don't already know. If you haven't already diversified and start getting you different tokens and start understanding how the space works and how it really operates, you should start doing that now because you're late. But exceptions will be made for people without banking or electronic payments access, certain emergency payments, certain law enforcement activities, and other special cases qualifying for an exception under the order or other existing law. This executive order does not establish a central bank digital currency, CBDC. Now, they mention how this does not establish a central bank digital currency, but the fact that they mention it says that they will in the future. We don't know how far away it will be. We don't know how long off or what it will take for them to establish a central bank digital currency. But the fact that they actually mentioned it in the document, it tells us that it's coming down the pipeline. So we have to get into a good position. When they create the central bank digital currency for America, you're going to be in a position situation to where you have to use that token, that coin, in order to transact over in the United States of America. So it's very important that you start learning and you start getting other tokens now, so you will be able to convert it over to the USD token. Because if you get out there now and you don't have any tokens and they start have to give you and pay you tokens, who is to say that the jobs will be easy for you to be able to receive those tokens? They may put certain stipulations in place where you get 1 token and bread costs 2 tokens. You know, you may be put in a position where you have to start paying for water and it costs 3 tokens and you only get 1 token, and they paying you slowly with the tokens that you are earning from them because you don't understand how to do tokens in the other realms outside of what the U.S. government is giving you. It gets so deep and complex, but we have to learn what technology is and how we can use it to our advantage, and how these currencies are going in that direction, and how we need to position ourselves properly. This executive order that has been signed is not something that should be taken lightly, and we should just think like, this is nothing, this is small. No, this is big. I know people sometimes can't afford to really think long term and see the future and focus on what's coming down the pipeline because we're trying to survive and eat for today. But we have to start making the necessary risk, taking the necessary risk, and making the necessary adjustments to learn what we need to learn and read and study what needs to be studied to prepare ourselves for what's coming down the pipeline. Now, the Trump administration gave a few reasons as to why they decided to go towards digital currency. The first one was defending against financial fraud and improper payments. President Trump is cracking down on waste, fraud, and abuse in government by modernizing outdated paper-based payment systems that impose unnecessary costs, delays, and security risks. Paper-based payments such as checks and money orders impose unnecessary cost, delays, and risk of fraud, lost payments, theft, and insufficiencies. Mail theft complaints have increased substantially since 2020. Historically, Treasury checks are 16 times more likely to be reported lost or stolen, returned undeliverable, or altered than an electronic funds transfer. Maintaining the physical infrastructure and specialized technology for digitizing paper records cost the American taxpayer over $657 million in fiscal year 2024 alone. Check fraud is becoming more common, with banks issuing about 680,000 reports of check fraud in 2022, nearly double the number from 2021. Digital payments are more efficient, less costly, and less vulnerable to fraud. So they gave a few reasons as to why they're deciding to switch to digital payments. And of course, they always want to cite fraud and people are stealing. And of course, if the system is built on stealing, people are going to be stealing from the system. People always find a way to get over on the system that is inherently built on getting over on people. Like, that's the nature of the game. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to cover up some loose ends and make sure they keep all this money in their pocket. And not only that, of course, they're trying to make sure they track their people and see what they're spending their money on. And at some point, they say that they're going to roll out a way that they're going to start taxing people based off of what they see you do on camera. Let's just say you have some digital currency in your wallet that they have us create, and you're walking over in America and you jaywalk in the street and it costs $10. You're gonna get fined $10 for basically walking in the street or jaywalking in a place where you're not supposed to. And they even have that going on in China right now. They talking about how some people over in China, like, if you break certain rules or do certain things over in China in some of the places, they'll actually come and find you and get you arrested because of the cameras that they have. And they find people with the tokens that they have. So that is definitely coming down the pipeline. They're setting the foundation for something like that, but the main point or reference that they want to mention now is fraud. And I'm sure that's something that they deal with as well. Since we're here, got to show y'all some of the products real quick.
This natural body. Natural body.
Yeah, natural product.
Natural body.
Yeah.
Natural body.
Yeah. Yeah, come closer. Come. Busy Beachy.
Karibu.
And with this blockchain technology that the Trump administration is attempting to tap into, I would say they are going into a realm where the blockchain technology is something that will be beneficial for those who are trying to be open and see what's going on. There will be more transparency in what they will be doing because there will be access to the transactions that they make, and there will be something that we will be able to take advantage of as a people too. Like if you have certain deals and you're talking with certain people and you have certain stipulations within your contract for funds to be released at a certain point and things to move forward at certain times, you can put those certain stipulations in contracts and money will be able to flow more easily in those type of ways. But this is something that we have to get our knowledge up about. Like they are beginning to teach us, they are beginning to tell our people about it, and that's most times not a good sign because they will gatekeep a lot of the important information, and if you don't go too deep and learn the important things for yourself, you will be left in a certain box and not have the full understanding of what you are getting yourself into and also how you can really take advantage of what you are getting yourself into. I've seen a lot of people that have made themselves millionaires off learning blockchain technology in this time right now. There's a window of opportunity that's still a little bit open right now because everyone hasn't adopted it yet and everyone isn't moving in that direction. But there's been many talks of people who have got in the beginning and they've learned things properly and they've moved in a way that they've learned the blockchain technology, they've created tokens, they've been a part of projects where they've been able to benefit from learning this knowledge. But we must, I'm gonna keep reiterating, it's very important that we learn this on our own and don't rely on the government to give us the right information, because we've seen time and time again that they do not do that. They don't have an interest in doing that. And so why are we depending and waiting for them to do that? Look at the writing on the wall once again. Look at the writing on the executive order and see that we have to position ourselves properly and learn this thing on our own. There are several brothers and sisters within our communities who are very fluent within this knowledge. They put the years and the effort into learning this technology and learning how to move and learning how to benefit from this technology. So look into those individuals, try to learn from them, vet them out and make sure they're a vetted source. Make sure you trust them and get the information that's needed so that you can take advantage and learn what needs to be learned now. President Trump has long championed the need for replacing outdated technology, saying government needs to catch up with the technology revolution. So Trump has been an advocate for modernizing the government and taking advantage of the times and getting connected to technology. So as he's been running his presidency throughout his first term, and now that he's been back in office, he's been making strategic moves towards doing things more digitally. So I don't know if people are surprised. If you are surprised, you shouldn't be surprised, because President Trump has been telling us and he's been being advocate for what he believes in and making sure that he stays active and continues to show people how he feels and what he's working towards. I don't know who's paying him or if it's his will, but he's doing what he set out to do. So all in all, this executive order is basically set to give the Treasury Department more control over people, and so that they can see and have more eyes on what's going on and see where money is going. But here's what I think, and this is my takeaway from what's going on in the executive order that they put in place. Now, the fact that they said this needs to be done by September 30th, that's a very, 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 very quick turnaround for something of this magnitude. Like, there are potentially saying that they are going to stop sending paper checks to everybody that receives benefits or anything from the federal government. That's Social Security, that's food stamps, that's any benefit that you receive from the federal government. You will not get that in checks anymore. So a lot of people receive checks. So there's going to be a lot of people that have to adopt this new mindset, adopt this new technology, and they will hit some learning curves, I'm sure. But I don't know if they're going to force it down people's throat. Well, it seems like it, yeah. They're going to just force this down people's throat, and you're going to have to figure out how to get that on your own. So the fact that they're doing this lets us know that they at some point will be rolling out a CBDC, a central bank digital currency, which will be backed by the government, and you will have certain stipulations in place in order to receive these tokens from the government. And also, the elimination of paper checks is a clear indication that they are going towards digital currency. More and more people will adopt it at this point, and more people within the federal government. There's some older people who, of course, I'm sure, are in the government like, I do not want to do this. What am I going to do this for? And even the regular people as well. Some of the people who receive checks that are just normal people, they will be affected by this, and they don't even have the technology and the terminology and the mental mind state to even want to learn about this, but now they have to pick it up. And the fact that they're eliminating these paper checks is another step in that direction. And also, the elimination of paper checks within itself is another step towards a digital currency. And the fact that they have the deadline set by September 30th shows the sense of urgency that they have and how serious they are about implementing this and putting it in place. They just eliminated the penny, and now they're working on the nickel. And the fact that they just did this to the checks, this means that they are slowly but surely working their way towards all of the cash over in the American society. After they get finished with the nickel, they might go to the dime, then they may go to the quarter, then they might go to the dollar. It's a half dollar first. Then they may go to the half dollar, then they may go to the dollar, then they may go to the $2, and then you get where I'm going. They may go all the way to the $100 bill, and then you like, boom. Now we're just using digital currency. So you better prepare yourself and get yourself in a good position, because this is something serious. They are changing how things operate, so you gotta learn the technology now before it's too late if you haven't already. They are slowly but surely removing cash from the society, so we must prepare ourselves properly. And they even have reverse ATMs out there now, y'all. There are some stores out there in America right now. If you go into their store and you put cash into a machine that they have there, that store will cough out a card for you, and that card will be the equivalent to the cash amount that you put into that machine. So you will get that amount on a debit card, and you will be able to walk into that store and swipe that card and purchase whatever you want to purchase without using cash. So if they're doing this in some of the stores now, they will implement this in a huge scale. And some of the stores over in America as well. I remember when I was there, there's a store in Kroger where you can put all of your coins, all of your cash in, all of your tokens that they have, and you will be able to get dollar bills back. Like right now, they used to give you, 5 years ago, wow, it's been a while since I've been over there. 5 years ago, you used to get like this little slip, and you would take that slip to the counter, and then they would give you cash for what you gave them. But now I'm sure at some point they will still take the cash and they will give you a slip, and then they'll give you your digital money based off of you giving them that cash. But these things have been implemented for a few years, so they have slowly but surely been taking the cash and slowly taking it away so that they can roll out these digital currencies. This is not something that they can just do overnight and just say, boom, this is what we're gonna do now. No, it takes slow and steady processes and stages in order to bring something like this into place. So they've been laying the foundation for a few years, but now he's just signing executive orders to move on to the next phase, and we better be prepared for what's coming down the pipeline. So some of my people, of course, feels like this is the mark of the beast referenced in Revelation 13, where cash will be useless and also frowned upon and outlawed during the last days. Revelation 13, 16 through 17 says, "And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." So many of my people feel like when this is implemented, this will be the mark of the beast, and this will be the point of no return for us as a people. Now I'm going to go ahead and say this. I heard and I learned during my studies and my research that when they introduced the dollar bill to the world, people felt like that was the mark of the beast too. So don't feel like, you have to get too terrified and feel like, oh, this is the mark of the beast. Oh, people felt like the dollar bill was the mark of the beast. Everything may be facets of the mark of the beast. I don't know. I'm not going to be the one to lie and tell you I know what it is. I just want you to pray and make sure you ask the Most High to keep you covered and protected, so whenever the mark of the beast get here, whatever it is, we're not affected by it and we're able to move within our gifts properly. That's what we need to do. Don't be afraid of the mark of the beast. Yes, have an understanding and look into research and ask the Most High to show you what it is and make sure you're moving accordingly, but don't make that stop you and cripple you in what you're supposed to be doing. Some of our people will hear these type of things and they'll just get so fear-filled that they will not move on what they're supposed to do. We have families that's depending on us. We have bloodlines. We have future generations that's depending on us to move properly and set ourselves up outside of this government before it's too late. We must learn blockchain technology. We must learn what CBDC is. We must learn all of this information so that when it's rolled out fully around the entire world, we're not left in a position where we're taken advantage of. So many times we as a people have been behind on technology, been behind on where the world is going, but right now we still have an opportunity and a window to learn blockchain technology, to learn how we need to move, and to learn how to position our assets properly within the blockchain before this cash becomes useless. Learn what you need to, connect with the right people before it's too late, because you see that they are slowly but surely rolling this out around the entire world. So listen, guys, please comment and let me know what you think about the executive order that Trump put into place outlawing paper checks in the federal government. Do you think this is going to roll out throughout the entire United States and then, of course, the entire world? Let me know what you think in the comment box. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can keep coming back and staying tuned to the content as we give current events about what's going on over on the continent of Africa. And I give a look into my life over here and teach you guys some of the things that I've learned since I've been over here on the ground, all right? And if you're interested in coming over to the continent of Africa, I have a free resources that will teach you how to move over here successfully and give you the right foundation so that you can know what you need to do to move over here properly. There's a free course, and I have a free document that will give you all the information you need to move successfully. And if you want a consultation and also want to learn how to speak the language of Swahili, we offer Swahili courses as well. And we have a membership community for those who are looking to be around like-minded individuals and trying to build and be held accountable as we move over here to the continent of Africa, all right? So if you want any of those resources, click the links in the description box so that you can sign up and get what you need, all right? If you made it to the end, thank you for your time. I thank you for your attention, and I don't take it for granted that you stayed tuned to the end. I hope this was able to bring you some value and you understand what we need to do as a people to prepare ourselves while Trump signed these executive orders that will likely affect us in some way. So make sure you stay focused and make sure you keep staying tuned to what the news saying and what we need to do as a people during these times to position ourselves properly, all right? Y'all make sure y'all stay safe out there and keep the shalom peace. Shalom.